class. Okay, so right now, when you have this HTML page right here, and this is what it looks like in your browser. There's no CSS style applied to it. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to kind of go down the list and we're going to apply CSS style to it. The first thing we're going to do is you need to download the reset.css file and link to it inside your HTML. The reason you're doing that is because all browsers have different base styling. And by using this reset.css, you make it consistent. You're more likely to make your CSS consistent between different browsers. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we have our type right here, and what we're going to do is apply. If you look at the graphic in the announcement, it is a specific font. So we're going to use something called Google Fonts. So what we're going to do is come here into Google Fonts. There's a link to this in the announcement. You can pick any font you want. Click on the plus sign, and what it's going to do is, and then you click down here at the bottom, it's going to give you the reference, the link reference that you're going to put inside your HTML. Okay, so you just add it to where your style sheets are inside your head tag. Okay, it's also going to give you the CSS to add to it. Okay, so we're going to copy this. So what we're going to do is our Amazorific type is our H1 tag. Okay, so right here, remember, this is your tags right here. So we're stylizing our H1 tag. We're going to make it 72 pixels. We're also stylizing our body. So what we're doing is inside our body tag right here, we're changing the background to light cyan. You can also put a hexadecimal number here, and we're changing the font family, everything other than the H1 tag, to a sans serif font. So if we save this, and refresh our screen and see what we have. Okay, great. We have our Google font right here, and then we change our background to a light cyan. So let's continue. Let's keep going down the CSS list. Okay, remember at the very top from your HTML, you had a header. Okay, and again, this is HTML5 that it's referring to. So what we're doing is, at the very top box, we're changing the background to white. Okay? Down here, the next CSS, this refers to all H1s inside the header. Okay? So it's referring to the same H1 here. So what we're going to do is we're going to float that header left. We're going to float that H1 tag left, and we're going to make the width of it 570 pixels. Save. Okay, so right here you'll notice it floated it left. Okay, also inside the header container, when things are floated, it's automatically going to turn the height to 0. And there's an easy fix for that I'm about to show you. Okay, so right here, the fix to get rid of the white background it's called overflow is auto. And what that does is the div or the container is going to be the same size as the content. Save. Okay, also we're adding a float to our nav bar, which is also in our header. And we're going to float it right, and we're going to make it 285 pixels. Okay. So if we refresh, boom, that overflow auto automatically filled the white box. Over on the right, you can't see it's off the screen right now, we pull it in, is your nav. It floated right and then made it a specific width. We're going to fix like this border up here. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm also going to show you how to remove the underlines from your links. Okay, to remove the underlines from your links, what we're going to do is, again, remember, if it doesn't have a dot or pound sign in it, it's referring to a tag. So what we're doing right here is we're changing the A tag, which for the ahref. So what we're saying is anything with the ahref, text, decoration, none, which means it's going to remove that bottom underline link. What we're also doing right underneath that is we're redefining the unordered list tag right here. And we're adding a list style none. And what that list style none does, it removes the bullets from your unordered list. So we'll hit save. Okay, you can see your bullets are gone. You can also see in your links right here, the underline is removed. Okay, if you notice in this, and remember from your CSS box model, posted an announcement, we want to add some space up here at the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to add padding to the top of the nav. Okay, so what we're going to do is redefine the nav and add a padding top of 10 pixels. Okay, again, it pushed it down a little bit. A little bit better negative space. It's looking better already. So let's go back to Sublime Text. Okay, and this is where we're going to start doing. We're going from top to bottom on the page. So we're down to our main div. And what we're going to do is, on our main div, we're going to take the background, we're going to make it white. We want the whole div to be white, so we're going to do the overflow auto. And we're also going to add some padding to it. Again, you don't have to purchase this. You can just say cancel. All right, so as we go down, we can see there's some padding added to this and added white to the div. Okay, as you remember from your announcement, there's things called classes. So right here, we have a class called left because it has a dot in front of it. And what we have here is a class called white. So anything inside the main tag with a class called left, it's going to floating left is going to make the width 570. Anything inside the main tag again with a class called white, it's going to float it right and make the width 285. So what we're going to do is we define the class in the CSS, but we have to apply it inside the HTML. So let's save this. Let's go back to our HTML. And we're going to go inside our main div right here. Okay, remember our copy is going to float left. So what we're going to do is we'll change the class. We'll apply the class to the div. So we'll just say class equals left. Okay, and remember, and we want the light bulb to float right. So we're going to apply the class with the div holding the graphic. Right. So right now, what happens is, if we refresh the screen, boom, we have over here, we have the content floating left, and we have the light bulb floating right, just because we applied the classes to them. Okay, so we're through the main, we're going down the page again. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a left and a right class for inside the footer. Okay, actually, the right class is going to be the sitemap. This is a good example. You can call the classes whatever you want. It's completely up to you. You usually want to label them something logical. So we'll come back here into the HTML and we'll go into our footer tag. Sorry about that. So we're inside our footer tag, and inside this div right here, we're going to apply the class left. Okay. And oh, I didn't remove this. We already have the class sitemap applied to it. Okay. Again, we come back, we save our CSS, refresh our browser, and voila, we have our contact information over here on the left and our sitemap over on the right. Okay, what we're going to do is, if you notice, we have some margins and paddings. We have this weird space. We have this blue line going around the page. What we're going to do is we're going to reset that. So to reset that, we're going to go inside the CSS, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the wildcard there, meaning everything. We're going to set the margins to 0 and the padding to 0 pixels. So if you do that and you refresh, boom, you get rid of that white border around everything. Okay, let's look at this. Our page right now, if we make it bigger and smaller, we notice our light bulb flows left and it gets bigger. What we want to do is we want to set the min and the max width at the same width, so this stays static and nothing adjusts. So what we're going to do is we're going to go inside our CSS, and what we're going to do is you can make a CSS for multiple tags. So for the header tag, the main tag, and the footer tag, we're going to make the min width 855 pixels. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to come here and we're going to, remember we made nested divs. So what we're going to do is for the header div, main div, and the footer div, anything with the div with a div with the class container applied to it, we're going to make the max width 855. Okay, so what we have to do is, if you notice that, we have to go in our HTML and define our classes right here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go inside we'll do our div. We'll work from top to bottom as we've been doing the whole time. What we'll do is we'll come into our header div right here, and we'll apply the class container. Okay, so automatically when we apply this class container, the max width of that div is going to be 855 pixels. Okay, we'll go inside our main tag. Okay, and we'll apply the class container to this tag also, inside this tag also. Okay, so we did our header main, and we just need to do our footer down here. So what happens now, we have our min width and our max width. So what happens is the divs remain the same size. Okay, you get a more consistent look by doing this. Okay, if you notice on our, we need to add some padding to everything. If you notice down here at the bottom, everything is bumped up at the very top. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some padding to our footer tag. Okay. Also, our H3 tag, we're going to add some padding to the top just to bump it down a little bit. So we go back, refresh our screen. There we have it. So this is our web page setup. If you have any questions about this, I know I went through it quickly. I'm just trying to make these videos as short as possible. So please send me an email and I will talk to you guys later.